Here's what I need you to do. I need you to admit the fact that you've gotten lazy.
Only those who are willing to risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Look, you gotta want it as bad as you wanna breathe. Just as a mentality, like you gotta live this, you gotta eat this, every single thing you do, it's a mentality.
Hard work, I'm sorry, there's no way around it. Hard work works. We can't cut corners. You have to take action now. Whatever that goal is, whatever that dream is that you're holding in your mind, now is the time. Now is your moment. Today is that day. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right here, right now.
I need you to ask yourself, do you have the strength to keep fighting when so many others are throwing in the towel?
Your problem is you think you can have an average mindset and get to the next level.
The problem with many of you is that you got fooled, you got complacent, you got lazy. Somewhere along the line, you lost your enthusiasm, your optimism, your hunger.
It's easy to be comfortable. It's easy not to try. It's easy to give up. But you're not robbing your teachers, you're not robbing your parents, you're not robbing the school. The only person that you're robbing is you, because you're trying to take the shortcut.
Every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, it's gotta get better. I study as long as it takes. I pay whatever the price is. Why?
I have too much to accomplish to be satisfied with where I am right now. I have too much on the line. I have too many people depending on me to win. I must stay hungry.
You have everything you need to achieve anything. You can either be a victim of your life or the master of it. But the choice, that's yours to make.
When you are hungry, you are creative. When you are hungry, you are innovative. When you are hungry, when you are no longer full, when you are no longer satisfied with where you are and you raise your standards, it is only then that you can have your future.
So those dreams and goals that some of you have that may seem larger than life, good. That's what I want you to go after. And don't let the fear of the failure, don't let the fear of perfection hold you back. You won't be perfect. You will make mistakes. But I promise you this, you're never going to know if you can sink or if you can swim unless you jump in the water.
I need you to think about your dream. That big life dream.
The people who dream and those people who dream big have a different kind of life than the people who don't dream.
A winner is a dreamer who never gives up.
Dreams require sacrifices. Like, my city's expensive, move. My car payments are high, sell your car and take the bus. This is dreams we're talking about. We're talking about dreams.
Whether it's fear or anxiety, whatever it may be, I believe that every single person who's going out to chase their dreams has those voices in their head. I think it's part of the human experience.
Stop downgrading your dream to fit your reality and start upgrading your conviction to match your destiny.
Stay strong, have faith, keep pushing through. I've said this before, and I'm living proof of it, is that on the other side of your struggle is something good. On your other side of your struggle is something better. On the other side of your struggle is some sort of success.
Why would you waste 1 second doing something that wasn't progressing your dream?
Go after this thing called life. Don't look back and have regrets. Understand that you're at a place and a position right now when hard work and valuing people, nothing can stop you, I promise you.
So your dream will cause you to go insane, because what you want, it hunts you every single night. See, the big dogs, they won't give you the opportunity. You're gonna have to take it.
I need you to remember your destination
You don't realize your dreams are so important because your DNA, who you are as a person, is wrapped up in your dreams.
No matter what happens, you will not quit because quitting is not an option because you have a why, you have a passion, you have a purpose.
I have a dream. Your DNA is in your dreams.
Be the example for the crazy dreamers in this world.
You have got to make a declaration that this is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. You want it, and you're going to go all out to have it.
What you want exists. Don't settle until you get it. You need to use guilt as your fuel. You need to start feeling guilty when you're not achieving or striving towards your dream. You can use the people that doubted your dream as motivation. When your dreams are dying and when you don't have enough strength to go on, I need you to stop the procrastination. I need you to let go of all limitations.
So I'm here to tell you today that you can have anything you want, be anyone you want, but you're gonna have to work.
See, dreams, aspirations, they're not easily obtained. But one of the hardest things to do is to keep going, is to keep chasing.
People will give up their dreams for certainty. But I'm telling you that your life will start to change when you become more committed to your dreams than your comfort zone. Stop being pushed around by the fears in your mind and start being led by the dreams in your heart.
This is your moment. And you gotta look in the mirror and believe that.
Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
So take advantage of today. Take advantage of tomorrow. Take advantage of every opportunity that you have to do what you want in life.
Life's too short to be working on someone else's dream. And I know it's difficult to follow your dreams, but it's even worse if you don't. You have to find a way to build your own dream, or someone else will hire you to build theirs.
Compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And that's a game you can win because you could be a little better today than you were yesterday. And that's a good thing. You're a little better. That's a good thing. And you know, no doubt there are some things that you could improve. You know, if you sit and meditate for any length of time about what you're not doing optimally, answers will spring to mind. You know, you could be getting up earlier. Comparing yourself to who you are now, that's a game you can win. Take stock of where you are. You know, what your advantages are and what your disadvantages are. And then you start with a little humility on the path of incremental improvement. And you know, incremental improvement compounds. And so you can get a long ways. Trajectory in some sense is more important than position for human beings. I mean, if you're starving to death, that's not the situation that I'm describing. But you know, if you've got the bare necessities of life, you're not surrounded by absolute privation. What you really want is to see that you're on an uphill path, you know, something that's got the right slope. And you can start anywhere on that path. And you can improve 0.5% a day or 0.25% a day, and you think, well, that's not very much. It's like it's 100% in 4 years. And that doesn't count compounding, you know, which means it's actually going to happen a lot faster. I think that the possibility that you can make yourself slightly better on a continual basis is, I think that's something that's accessible to everyone. I think that's equivalent to leading a virtuous life. And you know, I talked about the terrible catastrophe in some sense of differences in intelligence and differences in conscientiousness and so forth, and the downside of the meritocracy, but there is something to be said for virtue and truth. You know, and that is one thing. Another thing that I've noticed about people who've been phenomenally successful is that they really do everything they can to live a truthful life. And that, you can get a bloody long ways by being honest. The first thing I think you need to understand is that these people that you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know very well. What that means is that you see their shiny outside, but you don't see the reality of their life. People have hard lives, and even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. The ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. You're quite different from other people, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them because they're not like you. You know, they don't have your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your troubles. They don't have your abilities. The only person that has those is you. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And see, that's a game you can win.
How do you gain influence and respect? Like, what's that process?
If I want to gain the ability to influence you, well, then what I have to do is give you the ability to influence me. And when I say, hey, here's what we're trying to make happen. Here's what I want to do. And you say, well, I think we should do it like this. You know what I should say? Okay, well, let's take a look at that. The more I allow you to influence me, the more open your mind gets for me to influence you. Respect, same thing. If I treat you like you're a plebe, like you don't matter, you're not going to respect me at all. But if I treat you with respect and respect you, when you try and talk to me and I listen and I respect what you're saying and I try and understand it fully, then your respect for me is going to go up as well. So when you want to earn respect, give respect. When you want to earn influence, give influence. When you want to earn trust, give trust. All those three are related. There's a word that people bring up a lot, and I think they're pretty interchangeable, and it's relationships and trust, right? Trust is built on relationships. Relationships are built on trust. If you don't trust me, we don't really have a relationship. The more deeply you trust me, the better relationship we have. When I say that relationships are the most important thing in getting things done, when I look back at my career in the Navy and the SEAL teams, just about every single thing that I ever did was through relationships. So the amount of times that I looked at one of my subordinates and said, no, you will do what I'm saying because I'm in charge, I don't think I actually honestly ever said that one single time. I think it was always, hey, this is what we got to get done. How do you think we should do it? Do you think this is smart? And it was all based on relationships and up the chain of command too. There was never a time that one of my bosses said, hey, Jocko, shut up and you do what I told you to do. There was never a time that one of my bosses said that to me. There was, if I had a question, if I pushed back, they gave me legitimate answers. If they didn't have good answers, then they would modulate or change what it is that they were telling me to do. So how do I build trust with you? So if you're above me in the chain of command, if you ask me to do something as my boss, I do it. And I do it well. And I do it consistently. And I go above and beyond what you ask. And if you want me to deliver this project by this date, I deliver it earlier and I deliver it to the best of my ability above and beyond what you expected. And you say, oh wow, when I ask Jocko to do something, he actually does it. And that's where it starts. It starts with that right there, with me performing, me offering advice, me taking what you asked me to do and doing it. That's the number one thing. If we flip those roles, and now I'm in charge of you, how do I build trust with you? Well, what I do is I give you a project. And instead of me giving you a project and then saying, hey, here's how I want you to do this, and here's how I want you to do the next part, instead I say, hey, here's a project, let me know how you want to do it. And then you go figure out how you want to get done. And I don't micromanage you, and I don't ask you a million questions about and tell you, no, don't do it like that, do it like this. I let you do it. And what does that tell you? That tells you that I trust you. I trust you. And when I trust you, you start to trust me. And by the way, if something goes wrong, instead of me jumping down your throat and hanging you out to dry and making you an example in front of everyone, I say, hey, let's figure out what went wrong. Did I not support you well enough? Did I not give you what you needed? And so you realize, oh, he's not gonna hang me out to dry. He's gonna give me the support. He's gonna try and teach me if something goes wrong instead of try and drop the hammer on me.
I get asked all the time, if I could go back and talk to the younger me, what would I say? And if I was gonna go back and talk to the younger me, really it would be like me talking to many of all the younger yous. It'd be like me talking to my younger son. And the number one thing that I would say is don't let anybody tell you what you can't, you won't, or you shouldn't do. Everybody will try to put a limit on you. But what I've learned is that nobody can stop you but you, and that you are going to have to break your own limit. I would encourage you not to minimize the importance of your creativity, your ability to imagine, to dream big, the human mind, this thing called your imagination. It's where so many dreams and goals and unbelievable things have been achieved. If I could sit down, I would encourage you over and over again to find ways to spark your imagination, to create, to be a visionary. See, you were born to leave your fingerprints on history. These fingerprints, these 10 fingers, they're unique to me, they're unique to you. There's only one of a kind, there's only one of you, there's only one me. And you can do anything that you want. And you can actually get to a place if you use your imagination and your creativity and not allow anybody to limit you and not limit yourself, that you can leave these fingerprints on history. And just as much as I would talk about the importance of creativity, you best believe that I would emphasize education. Education to become educated. Educated to become an expert. Education, man, will be one of the most powerful tools that we have. Our ability to learn. Our ability to sit down and to grow intellectually. To learn more about how the world operates, because knowledge is power. Because truthfully, the world's lazy. Everybody talks about what they want to do. Everybody talks what they want to achieve. Everybody posts, but nobody wants to roll up their sleeves and just go. We've gotten lazy and complacent. And so I need you just to understand that you need to apply yourself, to take the time to be intentional, to grow, to learn, to be uncomfortable in the areas that you don't necessarily know. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Because at the end of the day, I promise you this, son, that no matter what everybody else is talking about, no matter what everybody else is thinking that they're going to do, a lot of people sit on the sideline and don't apply because they're afraid of failing. So I would challenge you to understand the importance of education. And don't let anybody ever tell you anything different. You see, because I know too well, life for many of us, man, there's challenges. We have faced adversity and circumstances and storms that we didn't ask for. Sometimes it's like we're just a freshman and a sophomore, and we're trying to grow up in life and figure out, first off, who am I and what do I want to do with my life and what's my future hold, and we have all the pressure of just kind of growing up in the culture and trying to fit and find our space. And then we have things that happen to us that we didn't ask for, like serious, challenging issues of maybe abuse, mental, physical, emotional, maybe deaths in our family. Like, we as young people, we didn't ask for some adversity. We didn't ask for some challenges. And it's almost like somebody puts this plate of food right in front of you, right? And they're like, this is life. This is your plate of food. This is all that you get in life. Now deal with it. And you're like, I don't like that. I don't want it. But this is all that you have to deal with because it's the real situation that you're having to figure out. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about? Raise your hand. Yeah, I mean, lots of us. And I would emphasize the importance of resiliency, the mentality that giving up never is and never will be an option. There'll be all kinds of challenges and storms in life that we have to face, things you didn't sign up for, things you didn't ask for. But life is life, and what I do know is that long as you continue to put one foot forward, that you will make it. It won't always be easy. There will be outside pressures, inside pressures, pressures all around. But the storms of life don't define us. It's how we navigate those storms. We have to continue to develop the tools, and we have to continue to be able to develop the ability when adversity And when challenges and objects and obstacles get in our way, that's called life. We've got to be able to understand how to mature in a way that we don't overreact, that we don't act impulsive, that we don't make decisions that will forever impact our future. We don't make decisions that will forever set us back and put us back years behind because we were impulsive or we were erratic or irrational or we didn't understand how to properly process the emotion. Like, we need to, as young people, make sure that as we're facing adversity and challenges, that we understand that it's okay to not be okay, that it's okay that we're going through some things, and that the truth is we're not alone, because life, not only for students, but for adults, for people, will always be full of challenges. The goal is, though, is for us, like my dad, when he used to smack the basketball off my face. Listen, I have to identify the problem, and then I have to figure out how to get around the problem. I'm not going to get consumed where all I focus, and I'm always just tore up on the problem, because all of my focus is on the problem. I'm not focusing on the solution.
Most creative people fail at producing their creative product and monetizing it, right? So your default position, if you're a creative person, is you're going to fail. And that's because it's hard to come up with something new, and it's hard to present it to the market at the right time, and it's hard to market it. Like, those things are really, really difficult. And so what successful entrepreneurs do is they just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And eventually, if they're fortunate, one of their ideas happens to hit the right place at the right time. And so that's also Darwinian in some sense. You know, you're creating all these little enterprises that are sort of alive. They're run by people, after all. And even if your idea is good, that doesn't mean it will be successful. There's so many things that have to be taken into account. So this is partly why persistence, and that's part of conscientiousness, is so useful. It's like, you know, what do they say? If at first you fail, then try again. And that would probably mean try something different rather than the same thing. But persistence is helpful because it enables you to run many, many experiments. And you need to know that the baseline is failure. You know, it's important, because otherwise you'll blame that on yourself. You know, and some of that's useful because there's probably some things that you could improve about yourself, but it's very difficult to go from 0 to 1, you know. If you're starting out as a salesperson, for example, the hardest sale is the first customer, and then, you know, they get easier with each additional customer.
When I genuinely look at my life, I see there are a few things that really matter. Freedom really matters to me. Unfortunately, even when people know what matters to them, they usually spend more time on minor things. Things like gossip, a celebrity love affair, or how their neighbor Tina doesn't care for her kids enough. Most people imagine things they want, they dream about it, but they never really do anything about it. It's not because they don't want their dreams to come true. Of course they want the house, of course they want the car, of course they want the loving partner. Here is what happens. When they start to work towards their dreams, they are constantly challenged by invisible walls. These invisible walls are limiting them every day. To understand this better and break those walls, I started to distinguish freedom into levels. The first level of freedom is freedom from the past. From the conditioning, the dogma, the beliefs that are subconsciously present because of past events in our lives. Sometimes, even when you want something intensely, you find yourself in a state of inaction. Imagine you were trapped in a box, a prison. The walls around you are keeping you trapped. You may want to break free, you may want freedom from it, but these walls will keep you trapped. You may try to push these walls to get your freedom, but you are trapped. You have no impact, no action on the outside world because you constantly bump against these walls. This is how you may be trapped in your past. The prison walls of limiting beliefs are keeping you stuck. It keeps you trapped. So first, you need freedom from your past. When you are free from your past, you'll find yourself taking more risks. You will find events happen for you instead of to you. You'll find a spiritual connection to the greater universe. You will be able to create the reality you choose for things that need to happen to you, that are important to you. You will live your truth daily. You'll feel empowered, and any self-judgment will start to fade away. Once you're free from your past, you will start seeing the infinite possibilities that life will present to you. Then you'll likely hit the second wall. That is your future and the fear around it. The second level of freedom is from your future. Imagine a life where you are free of worry, you are free of beliefs that haunt you, you are confident. Imagine owning the stage, impacting those lives, traveling first class. Imagine living in abundance. Imagine a life where you get to do what you want to do. Do you notice the doubt that creeps in as I mention these things? That's exactly what you need to be free of. Fear, doubt, worry about the future. Imagine a life where you don't need to be someone else. A life where you are free of expectations from others. A life where universe is like a genie asking you, "My love, what do you desire?" This is the freedom to be. To be who you want to be. To do what you want to do. Let me ask you, what is important to you? Is it health? Do you wish you could run a marathon, hike a mountain, or run the Spartan race? Is it intimate love? Do you want to be with a partner who would make you feel alive? Someone who would travel the world with you? Is it money and abundance? Do you wish you never had to wonder if you could afford something? To live in a particular house or drive a particular car? Is it significance and fame? Do you wish you could be on a global stage and be recognized as an authority? Is it impact? Do you wish your work would inspire others? Do you wish your books would reach around the globe and become a reference guide for people to lead a better life? The answer will be different for you, for me, for all of us. But whatever your answer is, you'll be free to choose and free to make it happen. It is freedom because it is the choice you make. Think about the opportunity you got 5-10 years ago that got you here. It may have shown up in the form of an event in your life, something that may be really good for you or something that may be bad. When that opportunity was presented, you made a decision. That decision was influenced by your beliefs, your self-image. That image, good or bad, was created because of the past events of your life. You see, you need to free yourself from the past, free your future.
My name is Sarah Wells and I'm an Olympic athlete. I competed in the 400-meter hurdles at the London Olympics, and yes, that was a highlight. But my dark patch came 4 years later, when the Olympics came back around, and everyone expected me to qualify again, and I didn't. I felt like such a failure. I thought my friends wouldn't like me anymore. I thought the entire world was about to be flipped upside down.
When you're down, find a way to get up. I've been there. I go through it like anybody else. But I have a job to do in this world. And so do you.
You too may have had a goal in mind, an idea of what success looked like. And for whatever reason, that goal might have evaporated in front of your eyes. That's what I felt. Sometimes it can be easier to just live in that dark place because the strength required to climb back out is a lot. A lot of effort, a lot of time, and honestly, it feels completely out of reach. But you know what? It's not. It is possible to get back up again. Minute by minute, choice by choice, we can move farther away from the thing that set us back. We can dust ourselves off and rise back up. By crawling out of the darkness of difficulty, we learn a lot about our own strength. We're able to do what we thought was impossible. And we use what's inside of us to grow stronger, braver. We're wise from those experiences too. We now know what it takes to overcome. Every time life knocks us down, we can choose to get back up. We become a better version of ourselves. a version that knows pain, a version that knows struggle, but a version that has lived through and knows the beauty of coming out on the other side. It gets better. You get better. The struggle is worth it. So pick yourself back up and keep going. Life is difficult and messy, but through the struggle comes beautiful, powerful things.
To each one of you that is listening to this message, understand the pain, the struggles, and all of the things that you felt that are holding you back. It's not going to hold you back for very long. Because as long as you are alive, you have to continue to move on. You have to continue to live. You can't allow the misery and the hurt and the pain hold you back to a position where you can't move forward. Because as long as there's life in that body, you got things that you need to get done. The reality is, we cannot go on forever, but we must go on. We can't live forever, but we must continue to live. We must fight for something. Don't fight for nothing. Live and breathe and fight and believe and understand that it's not over for you. It's not over for you because you are still here. So make the most of your life. Honor those that are no longer here with us. Make sure you're leaving the mark. Make sure you're leaving the legacy. So when your time comes, your legacy can be left to the next generation. So keep up the good fight. It's not over for me, and it shouldn't be over for you. Carry on. Live strong. Keep it moving. No matter how strong, no matter how tough you think you are, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna feel that sense of emptiness. You're gonna feel that sense of loss. But the best thing about losing is to grow. Is to feel it. Is to understand it. Is to fight through it. There's nothing on earth can stop your purpose if you just hold on to it. So I live not just for me, not just for my family, not just for the people that look to me, but I do it to honor my parents. It feels not the best of me right now because I don't have that mother to talk to. I don't have that father to talk to or to give advice. It's just me now. The people that mattered in my life, the people that gave me life are no longer in this world, but they exist in my heart. They give me a reason that they left a legacy for me to carry on. This doesn't mean that it's the end of me. It means that I have work to do. It means that I have to continue to push and go harder and go stronger. It means that I have to stay focused. It means that I have to stay faithful.
I ain't trying to offend nobody, but y'all gotta do me a favor. Look, some of you, man, the reality is, the reason why your dreams are not a reality, for real, like you could be walking in it right now, but you talk too much. And so what I want you to do for me, for real, I want you to talk less. Listen to me, talk less and grind more, because I need you to make an investment in yourself. And you don't make an investment in yourself by talking. Now, I'm not telling you don't share your dreams, but for some of you, you get that euphoric feeling just from talking. Like for real, when you talk, it's like you feel like you've accomplished something. When you talk, you feel like you've done something. All right, maybe your mama, maybe your best friend, I don't know. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and tell yourself, but do me a favor, shut up. Stop talking so much. You don't gotta talk about your dream. Look, do me a favor, let your work Look, talk less, grind more. Let your work speak for you. And so for some of you, for real, this ain't been your best semester, but you still got time to pass that class. You still got time to finish strong, all right? And so even if you gotta finish ugly, if you gotta finish downright dirty, let's just get it done. But right now, we're in that last week. This ain't time to quit. This ain't time to doubt yourself. Remember what I told you, never give up, never give in, just hang in there, all right? Champions keep going when they don't have anything left in their tank. That's the difference between the greats. That's what separates them. When they don't have no more, when it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're ready to give up, when they spent their last dime, that's when they get started. Are you hearing me? It's when you have nothing left. It's when you depleted all your money, when all your energy gone, when you have nothing left. That's when it's showtime. When you find a way out of no way. When you find breath that you don't have. When you find energy that did not exist. When you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you find a way. Listen to me closely. When you get to the point where enough is enough, when you get to the point where it hurt real bad, when you get to the point you can't take it no more, when you get to that point, I'm telling you, I can't explain it to you. But doors start opening, opportunities start happening. But what you cannot do is you cannot quit doing the process. You cannot give up because it ain't what you see. You cannot give up. Xbox, put it in the mail and send it home. Your cell phone, cut it off. Facebook, Twitter, if it's not helping you academically, cut it off. You're about to immerse yourself in your academics. You're about to go to your professor and ask, what's going to be on the test? You're going to look around at all those smart kids in your classes getting 4.0s, 3.5s, and you're going to hook up and say, what do I need to know? Listen to me, you're about to immerse yourself in it. You're cutting off all distractions, everything that's not going to help you to pass this fight. Listen to me, there'll be plenty of time to play PlayStation, baby. Kenny Rogers used to say, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You don't never count your money while you sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count it when the dealing's done, baby. Are you hearing me? After you take your final exam, you got time for PlayStation. So when you talk, right? When you say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a track star, I want to be an artist, I want to be a rapper. Like whatever you say out of your mouth, that one word will require thousands of actions. Hear me and hear me carefully. So do me a favor, shut up, shut up. Stop talking, you talk too much. You talk entirely too much about your dreams. You talk too much about your goals. Say it once, say it twice, no more than 3 times, and get to work. All right, you ain't got to respond to your haters. You ain't got to respond. My boy told me the other day, some teacher told him, like, you know, you can't do this. You're not smart enough. You're not intelligent enough. Like, I don't even know why you decided to get in this program. Like, you can't do it. And my boy was talking to me. I'm like, look, shut up. I don't need to hear what my man said. That's on some negative stuff. Look, let your work speak for you. Like, quiet my man. Shut my man up. Shut him down. How do you shut him down? You don't shut him down by talking about what he said. You don't shut him down by talking about, you know, how you feel about what he said. You shut him down by working. So I need y'all to do me a huge favor. All right. Bruce Lee put it best. He said, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. So I told you, second quarter living. We're not talking no more. Second quarter living is about application, all right? It's about taking it to the next level. It's not about talking, it's about doing. You got to be careful doing too much talking, because whatever it is you say, I want to be an NBA All-Star, I want to win a Super Bowl. When you open up your mouth and say that, do you understand how many push-ups you got to do? How many reps you got to do? Do you know how many stretches you got to do? Do you know how many plays you got to practice? When you say you want to be a lawyer, do you know how many cases you got to sit through? Do you know how many books you got to read? Do you understand how many classes you have to take? Do you understand when you say you want to be a registered nurse? When you say a nurse, you know how much clinicals you have to do? How many chapters you have to read? Do you understand how early you have to get up? You're about to immerse yourself in your studies. You will only concentrate. You will only focus on the things that are going to help you with your final examination. You're not doing any leisure right now. You will have time for the leisure later. How much work do I have to put in to make this happen? Because it's not going to happen just because you talked about it. It's not going to happen just because you said it, right? So do me a huge favor. You wished enough wishing. You wished enough. You waited enough. Now let's get to work. You can't go back. There's no options at this point. We're in the fourth quarter. It's do or die, baby. We do not have time. We about to go get it, right? It's ours for the getting. You're in school. You can do it. You're in school. You were smart enough to get there. You're smart enough to get out. You can do it, and you're not leaving. Listen to me. We ain't going home. We ain't going nowhere until we get the degree. You ain't going nowhere until you get it done. And so we're going to lock everything else down for the next 2 weeks. We shutting it down. We shutting it down. And we doing what we got to do to get what we got to get.